Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming over here and watching another video. Today I thought that I would do a little Felix update. I did loads of updates for Felix when he was little, kind of those very early days, first 6 months, and I think when he was just over a year, and things were very different back then. So I thought that it would be a really nice opportunity today to give you an update about where he is now. The guilty daddy has just taken him and Marley out, so I can film this in peace, and then at the end when they're back I will bring him in and then see if he will have a little chat with you all. So Felix is 28 months now. I actually had to go through and count that this morning. I don't keep track of months anymore. I don't know if it's a second baby thing. But anyway, yes, so he was 2 in September, and he is an absolute joy. He is such a beautiful little toddler who he's beautiful inside and out. He's just wonderful, and it's funny because he was my really difficult baby and I thought he was just going to be kind of headstrong the whole time. You know, through his toddler years I thought he's just going to be my one, which is hard work, but he's actually completely changed, and he kind of changed from about 14 months to be honest, and then he's just got better and better and better as time has gone on. Not that he wasn't good before, obviously he was still such a lovely little boy then, but he was just so feisty, and he's still got that feistiness in him, but he's softened and he loves us now and things like that. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickly throat today. So what is he doing? So Felix goes to preschool. He started preschool with Marley in September when he started 2. So we started Marley a little bit later actually. I think he was about 2.5, but Felix was just at that point where I was dropping Marley off and he was just desperate to go and he didn't want to leave. So we put him in. We thought we'll just see how it goes. 2 things worried me. One, that he was a bit young for it. Not that too young at all, like 2 is absolutely fine. I just thought, oh, he's my baby. And second of all, I was worried about his immune system, just because if any of you guys who have been following me from the beginning, you'll know that Felix had a really rough start. He was in neonatal. He had really bad reflux, he'd pick up every infection, he was failure to thrive, and he also had a really nasty infection just after he had turned 1, so last December, which affected his ear, and he had to have emergency surgery for that. So yeah, he picks bacterial infections up and he doesn't deal very well with them. So I was a bit concerned about him going into a preschool setting, especially over the winter, and I think even his consultant was a little bit kind of on the fence about it. But anyway, he's at preschool. He has been there since September. He has done wonderfully. He doesn't cry. He's literally never looked back for me. He doesn't whimper, doesn't cry. He loves it there. He talks about going. He kind of says he's made a few little friends. I'm not sure if he has or not. I think he follows Marley around a lot. He only does 2 sessions, so a morning session and an afternoon session, so a Monday and a Friday. But yeah, he just loves it, and the preschool that they're at is just so good, so nurturing. All of the staff are wonderful and they've done wonders for Marley, and they're doing the same with Felix. One thing that Felix couldn't do when he started preschool was he really struggled with socialising. So he's always been brilliant with Marley, but with socialising with children of his own age he wasn't very good, and I've noticed a big difference in that. He's not so scared of children touching him and things like that now. You know, if they go in to give him a cuddle he would just freak out before. So I think it has done him a lot of good. So I'm really happy with that. So that's kind of the big, I guess, big change for him since September, since turning 2 would be preschool. Him and Marley are absolutely inseparable. If you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, then you will know they're just so cute together. They absolutely fight like cat and dog. Oh my goodness, half the time, and I think it's a boy thing really, they're just in a ball rolling around together. But Felix really looks up to Marley, and funnily enough actually Marley really follows Felix too. But they are just so good together, and he's really keeping up with everything that Marley's doing physically, which is great for him because he was always a bit behind. So you know, he's just had his 27-month check and they said physically, you know, balance and everything, he's doing brilliantly. He goes soft play. So yeah, he just does everything that Marley does. It's a really, really lovely age actually, having him at that point now where he's not a baby and he can kind of just do most of the things that Marley's doing. His hearing is fine. So after his infection in December, which was mastoiditis, if any of you guys don't know kind of his background with that infection, then I will link that video down below for you as well. But there was some discussion about whether he would have lost his hearing from that infection just in that right ear. I think he's had 3 hearing tests now, and he sees his consultant every 3 months, now it's every 6 months, and the last hearing test came back really good. So his hearing is absolutely fine, and it seems to be fine. He can hear us, no problems there. His grommet has come out of his ear from the infection, from when they put that in after the infection, and I don't know if they're going to want to put that back in or not, but he's not getting ear infections or anything like that at the moment. We worry, and we're always on high alert for it, just because it was so bad before. But touch wood, at the moment he hasn't had any kind of ear infections that have been overly worrying. So I don't know if they will want to put that grommet back in or not, but hopefully not. And I guess that leads on to his speech. So his speech was always a bit delayed before the infection, and the doctors were a little bit worried that the loss of hearing in that ear, which would have been for a couple of months probably, was at a crucial time for his speech. But actually his speech is coming on leaps and bounds, so he's talking loads and loads and loads. Like I said, at his 27-month check, obviously they assessed that a little bit, and the health visitor had a chat with him, and I know that I could understand everything he was saying. I don't think she could understand everything that he was saying, but she said from a communication point of view, he understands, he's making conversation, he is trying to talk a lot. So that's really what they're looking for, is the understanding, and he's definitely got that. His vocabulary, I'm trying to think of how many words he could say, and honestly I couldn't count them. So he definitely knows a lot of words, and even if they're not just completely clear, he's still trying really hard to say them, and I can understand them. Marley can understand everything he says, so Marley translates a little bit for me. The health visitor was quite keen for me to make sure that I'm telling Marley that Felix needs his chance to explain things to me. Marley will speak for him a lot, which I think is very common with the older sibling, and younger siblings' speech tends to be a little bit further behind anyway. Firstly, because you're not speaking to them one-on-one directly all the time, and secondly because the older one will just translate for them, so they don't need to say so much. But I'm really happy with his speech. I think he's doing brilliantly with it, and we'll work on the pronunciation. Things like he'll say gog for dog, so I'm just trying really hard when he says the wrong letters just to say dog, duh, look at mummy. And I think it's the way they watch you and how your lips and how your mouth moves is really important. Also, I've heard for speech anyway. I'm certainly not a speech therapist, definitely not a speech therapist, but I'm not a speech expert. And his general health is just really good. Like, he doesn't have any issues at the moment, and that's so nice because he's healthy, he's happy, he's wild, he's got energy, he sleeps brilliantly. So for the baby that would not ever sleep, I don't think he was like up to about age of 7 months. He was 7 months. Gosh, I can't get my words out today, guys. He was sleeping between half an hour and an hour at a time at night, and it was killing me. But he sleeps really well now. So both boys share a room, and I'm actually going to do a little sit down video on that about how we do their routines with them sharing a room. But they share a room out of choice. Felix had his own room and then was desperate to go in with Marley. So they've been doing that for a good 1.5 years, I'd say now. But Felix is now in a toddler bed. So, yeah, they're both in beds. Marley's got a full single, Felix has got a toddler bed, and they love it. So they go to bed about 6:37, and generally speaking, they sleep through until about 6:30. Marley's a real early riser. Felix would happily stay in bed until 8, but it just depends if Marley wakes him up. So Felix actually sleeps probably longer than Marley did at his age. So easy peasy there. He will sometimes push his luck and come into our bed in the middle of the night. He's still a bit like, mummy. But I mean, he'll come in at like 4, and it's usually only if he's a bit under the weather or if he's thirsty or something like that. So I'm not too fussed with that. On the whole, he goes down on his own, doesn't need any help from us. gets up, waddles in. So that's a good thing about having him in a toddler bed, really. And what else? He's still quite small, so he is in age 1.5 to 2 clothes at the moment. Marley was always the opposite, so he was always in the size up. He still is. So he's kind of always been ahead, and Felix is a little bit behind, but that's fine. But he is getting very tall. I haven't measured, I think I weighed him actually the other day, and he was like 1 stone something. I don't know how tall he is, but I think he is going to be quite tall. He's very, very narrow on the waist, and then so he still needs that kind of 1.5 to 2 jeans, but they're getting a little bit short, and the same with his jumpers and everything like that. What else? Eating, he eats really well, eats quite a bit more variety than Marley. He is a bit of a fuss eater. I think he gets that from Marley actually, because he will sit quite happily with me and eat a range of foods. But if I put something in front of Marley and Marley's like, no, I'm not having that, I do not want that, then Felix is like, nope, I'm not having that either. But yeah, he eats quite a lot of things. He absolutely loves ham and cheese. Good boy. I like ham and cheese. I even got him to try some like camembert and brie over Christmas. He didn't like that, but he will try it, so he's willing to try. Good eater. He does eat quite a lot now. He used to eat like a sparrow, but he eats quite a lot, so his portions are going up. It's not really making him any bigger. He must have a really fast metabolism, whereas, yeah, I mean, lucky boy having a fast metabolism. Marley doesn't really have that. Marley, if he eats lots of chocolate and stuff, you can see he starts to like fill out a bit, but Felix doesn't get that. He'll just eat and eat and eat. And his favourite thing of all time at the moment is apple juice. So he goes around going, apple juice please mummy. So he's just so sweet. Oh, melts my heart. But yeah, overall, he is just such a joy to be around. He really is. He's so easy. He listens. He's polite. He says please and thank you. You don't need to remind him to do anything. He's very headstrong. He's always been that way, and I think he's always going to be that way. But like I said, he's just softened a little bit. So he's just a bit more, you know, cuddly. So he's feisty, but he's cuddly, and he loves mummy and daddy, and he adores Marley, and he's just such a special part of our family, really. And I know that sounds a bit cheesy, but he really is, and it's lovely this age. I'm just loving it. Like, I wished his baby days away, just because everything that could go wrong with him just did go wrong with him, and I was like, oh, this is too much. But now they're 2, he's 2 and Marley's 4, I'm just loving it. It's just an easy age. So if you're considering having a small age gap, there's 23 months between Marley and Felix, then I would say yes, it is the hardest thing at the beginning, and maybe I just didn't take to it very well, but I found it really, really hard. And then when it kind of gets to like 1.5 years, 2, it just gets easier. It's just so much easier. Just take a little rucksack out now with a couple of nappies. Oh yes, that's the last thing that I will say. Potty training. He isn't potty trained yet, and I'm really annoyed about it actually, because in the summer he was so keen to be on the potty, and he didn't want to wear his nappy, and he wouldn't have his nappy on ever. And I did a little bit of potty training with him, and he took to it really well. And then I had my gallbladder operation, so I think it was the week before my operation, he was ready to be potty trained. He was really ready, and I was like, no, because now I'm going to have my operation, I'm not going to be able to follow it through. I'm not going to be able to be on the floor with him and like changing him every hour or so. So I didn't do it, and literally I missed that tiny window. You know, they say you get a tiny window, and obviously it will come back, but I am kicking myself because now he's at a stage where he doesn't want to go on the potty. He is not ready. There is no point in pushing him at all. He's quite scared of the toilet and things like that. But we're just doing the usual stuff with him. So every day I offer him to go into the toilet. I'm trying to get him to go and do his poos in his nappy in the toilet. I offer him the potty. Marley, he goes with Marley. When Marley goes to the toilet, he comes with me. He knows what it is. He knows when he's done a wee or a poo in his nappy, and he'll tell me when he has. So they're all really good signs. I will probably now leave it, depending if we're going to go on trips and stuff, I'm not sure. I'll probably leave it to till Easter, which would make him exactly the same age as Marley was when Marley was potty trained. And Marley was potty trained like that. Easy peasy. He did day and night in 1 week, and that was done. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I think that's all for the Felix update. He isn't back yet, but when he's back I'm going to bring him in and see if he will have a little chit chat with you guys, because I've done all of these updates before and he's been like a baby in my arms, or I've been jiggling him, so it'd be nice for you to see some one-on-one time with Felix. Okay, can you say hello to everybody?
Hello.
What have you got?
Blah.
What is it? Say it really clearly, what is it?
Blah.
So this is Felix. Can you look right at the camera and say hi?
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
And how old are you? How old are you, Felix?
3.
3? You're not 3, you're 2, aren't you?
Daddy.
You're 2. And what's this?
Rabbit.
Say it nice and loud. What is it?
Rabbit.
An elephant. And what do you like, Felix? What's your favourite food to eat?
Chip.
Chips?
Yeah.
And who's your best friend?
Rabbit.
Eric,
Yeah.
the bear. And do you know who your brother is?
Mom.
Who's your big brother?
Daddy.
Daddy's not your big brother. That's Marley, isn't it? And is there anything else that you want to tell all the guilty mummies?
Tiger.
You broke the clock.
I.
Yes, you did break the clock, didn't you?
Bagay.
It's not really okay, is it?
Right.
Was Mummy sad that you broke the clock?
No, they hot.
Mummy was telling everybody on the camera in there how good you were.
Cool.
And then, between filming that and filming this, I came in and the clock was broken and the camera and the lights were all on the floor, weren't they?
Yeah.
And who did that?
I go.
Yeah, who did that?
Abby.
Marley?
Nah.
Did you do any of it?
No.
No? Are you sure?
No.
You're not sure. Never mind. We've talked about it, haven't we?
Hello, car.
Yeah, so should we say to everybody on the camera, should we say thank you all so much for coming and watching this video?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you do like it, then then give it a thumbs up and do press that subscribe button. And I will be back very soon. Maybe we should do a Marley up. Say goodbye to everyone. Can you wave to the camera?
Bye.
Bye bye, and we will be back very soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.